WCBI News at 6 starts now.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining us. October has been a roller coaster ride for the state of Mississippi. We started out with the month with a statewide burn ban, and we are ending the month with flash flood warnings throughout the northeast part of the state. We've been monitoring water levels around Columbus and Lowndes County. Our Cash Matlock joins us live from one of those trouble areas. Cash?
Well, Andre, I'm here on the corner of 15th Street and College Street, and as you can see behind me, water levels have gone down significantly since this morning. Now, this area is prone to flooding, and fixing that issue may not be as easy as it seems. Rain, rain, and more rain. It's something the Friendly City has seen a lot of this week, and the infrastructure downtown is struggling to keep up.
It's really because of localized ditches that are either built inadequately years and years ago by developers, prior regulations, whether it be the city's regulation, state regulation, or federal regulation.
Kevin Stafford is an engineer for the city of Columbus. He says drainage codes for severe flooding were put into place in the late 70s and early 80s, a good while after major parts of the city were developed.
There's entire neighborhoods in the city that are built that if were brought to us today, we would not be able to allow them to be built the way they are because they're too low because of flooding issues.
Over the weekend, Columbus experienced 2 to 6 inches of rainfall. Today, the city endured another 2 to 4 inches.
When water comes down so fast, several inches per hour, those rain rates, it's got to go somewhere. Concrete will funnel that into, drainage areas. It will build up in certain areas. Some spots may not see flooding, but especially the urbanized spots, we'll see that flooding risk a little bit higher in these extreme rainfall events.
The issue is that only the newer developments in Columbus have up-to-date drainage systems.
Newer developments, they're going to have either underground or above ground detention. For instance, Lee Mall. Lee Mall was built well before all this regulation. If it were built the way it were today, it would have to have a detention pond. So let's just jump right across the street on 18th Avenue at the new hotel development. They have 2 detention ponds. And so that's a perfect example of similar size footprints, 2 totally different ways to develop it based on the stormwater regulations that are now in place.
And according to Stafford, the city's drainage issues are far from over.
That drainage plan in a 70s footprint of the city, which is much smaller than it is today, estimated that to repair the issues they saw for just the localized flooding was a $15 million fix in 72 money.
Well, Stafford says the issues simply can't be fixed through money alone. They can only be solved over time through public works or through highly competitive grants. Reporting in Columbus, Cash Matlock, WCBI News.
We've had a little bit of a lull this afternoon. Our next batch of rain already slipping on into the western areas right now. Grenada, Winona, and Bruce right now. Back to the west and northwest of Jackson, we also have some stronger activity. We're going to have to watch this little activity southwest of Yazoo City. This is moving back to the northeast, so we do have more rain in store for us as we go throughout the course of the evening. There's actually a cold front back to the west. Here it comes. That will be moving on through. Can't rule out a few gusty storms over the next couple of hours, but the severe weather threat goes away and temperatures cool tomorrow. We'll have your full forecast coming up.
Preparations are underway for President Trump's visit to Tupelo as he rallies in support for Republican gubernatorial candidate Tate Reeves. Allie Martin has more on the logistics of the day.
Weeks before the official announcement that President Donald Trump would visit Tupelo, city and county leaders were working with the president's campaign, the White House, and the Secret Service.
A lot of that information can't be disclosed to the public, but just know that our police department, fire department, even public works department is working hand in hand with the presidential security team to do everything we can to make sure the president's safety is protected here in the city of Tupelo.
What can be disclosed involves parking in and around the Bancorp South Arena. The parking lots will be opened sometime Friday morning. Lot B on the west side will be available for public parking. Lot D on the east side will have limited public parking as well as handicapped parking. No parking will be allowed at the former Tupelo Automobile Museum or the former Mega Sports building, and several streets will be closed through most of the day. Tupelo Police Chief Bartigari says his officers are building on what they learned from the president's visit last year.
We know a lot of the agents already. We've worked with them before. They know a lot of the people with the Tupelo Police Department, the Sheriff's Department, the Highway Patrol that are also involved in the security aspects, of the presidential visit.
Just like last November's visit by the president, a large crowd is expected Friday. Ticket holders will enter through this fenced-in area where they will go through security checkpoints. As many as 10,000 people may be allowed inside. Overflow will watch the rally on a jumbotron in the parking lot. People are encouraged to get to the arena early.
Probably closer to 7 a.m. We'll open those lots up and people can park in the designated spots and go and start lining up.
Of course, all that is decided by the Secret Service and is subject to change. In Tupelo, Allie Martin, WCBI News.
Now, officials urge you to plan for delays if you have to travel in or near the downtown area on Friday. Also, if you're flying in or out of Tupelo Regional Airport, you can expect delays when Air Force One is in the area. Well, you can do it, we can help. It may not be the slogan for Home Depot anymore, but that spirit is still alive. The home improvement giant is helping make a new classroom a reality for the Aberdeen High School Junior ROTC program. Back in May, Sergeant Rodney Williams applied for a $10,000 grant through the Home Depot Foundation so that the cadets could improve their study space. The Home Depot Foundation assists with community and veteran service projects throughout the year across the United States.
We had to get, of course, their proof of general liability and plus a 501c form proving that they're a nonprofit agency. And then we had to get details of the repairs that were needed for this classroom. Once we got that done, we submitted it all to our Home Depot Foundation, which goes through a small process in order for them to approve their grants.
And you can get more information about the Home Depot Foundation grants on our website, wcbi.com. Instructors and cadets have a plan for the renovations, and now they have the money. And as Stephanie Poole found out, they're ready to put both into action. She joins us in the studio with more on their plans.
Yes, Andrea, over the next couple of weeks, students and staff are rolling up their sleeves to get to work on a long-awaited makeover. Chipped paint, old air conditioning units, and a moldy carpet. This is what senior JROTC student Ariel Hatton says she has looked at every day for the last 4 years.
This room has been through so many changes because at first it was the mechanics room, it was the powerlifting room, it was the cosmetology lab, and that's why we have so many different colors and things going on in here.
But little did she know it would all be changing. The Home Depot Foundation awarded Aberdeen High School JROTC program $10,000 to make major upgrades to their classroom. In 2 weeks, new floorboards, a fresh paint job, and new air conditioning units will all be put in.
To see that we're finally getting to rebuild it and put it back together to make it what it should be is very exciting.
Before being designated for the JROTC program, Room 25 experienced a lot of wear and tear, leaving the room in an unstable condition. Sergeant Rodney Williams says his cadets came up with designs and colors for the new classroom.
Basically, when a cadet comes in, they see A1 facilities. They want to be A1. And we tried to instill in our kids this first semester. We came on this program. We're going to be the flagship of this campus. And all to be the flagship, you got to look like you're there. We may not have the best materials and stuff like some of the top schools have. Well, we're going to take care of our stuff.
And with the new look means more positive attitudes.
Having the old room, it was just like everybody came here all slouched over, it's kind of boring. People really didn't feel like doing any color guard drill or anything, but having this makes people want to thrive to their achievements in this program here.
Hatton says she's grateful to leave her mark for those JROTC students who will come after her.
It's like leaving a legacy. When people who come here next to us, they look back, they're going to say, oh, my cousin did this, or my brother and my sister did this. They put the floor together. They made the colors. They painted the walls. They did all of that. So we're leaving a legacy behind from all of us.
All classroom renovations should be finalized by November 13th.
Coming up, some area students get hands-on with future job opportunities. We'll take a look when we come back. Getting a group of first graders to sit still during class, not a whole lot of wiggle room there, but our educator of the week does it with a combination of footwork and bookwork. Leanne Martin teaches first grade at Vernon Elementary School. She includes movement in her lessons to help the children stay focused. That may include playing a version of Simon Says with her children. She also says her students are at that age where the more they move, the more they learn.
We have wiggles in first grade, so it helps get their wiggles out and it helps them focus in on something, and they just like that movement. They're hilarious. They still have that loving, I want to love on you, I want to hug you, and I want to please you, but they are a little bit more independent. They can write their name, they come in reading, so but that age is fun. I wrote that word.
And to see your favorite teacher featured, go to our website, wcbi.com. Well, some 8th and 9th graders from all over the Golden Triangle get an up-close look at jobs at local industries. This was all part of a hands-on interactive exposition at EMCC's Communiversity. This event is called Forge Your Own Path. It was featured activities like bricklaying and finishing concrete. There was also a session for school counselors to come and do some woodworking.
We're trying to expose young people to the many career choices that there are, especially in the construction world, because it's one of the fastest growing industries around. There's a lot of work to be done in our state.
And organizers say more than 1,000 students attended today's Forge event. All right, Keith, rainy start this morning, tapered off, it's coming back.
Coming on back, and then the cold weather returns. Sweater weather is back, and my dog already getting underneath the blankets. It's going to be chilly here Friday through Sunday. Highs in the 50s, lows down to around freezing. Your full forecast is next.
WCBI's Educator of the Week is brought to you by Food Giant, where your neighbors are the owners. Your WCBI First Alert AccuWeather forecast with Chief Meteorologist Keith Gibson.
All right, friends, we do have some cloud cover across our region today. Here's our Alpha Insurance Camera Network. Our time lapses from Columbus and Tupelo, Vernon, and Louisville, Mississippi. Notice the clouds moving on through. Some bees still around our camera site there in Columbus, and we've had some very heavy rain in the region. Now we are looking at more rain coming back on in. All right, let's check out our live radar. Most of our viewing area not seeing any rain right now. You get northwest of the Natchez Trace Parkway. We do have some rain out here back to the northwest, and this is just some lighter rain up here towards Calhoun City and Bruce, and points to the north here. But no lightning in this activity, some steadier rain. Some downpours here near Grenada, Duck Hill, Winona, west of Winona down to Carroll County. We do have a stronger batch of activity down towards Yazoo City and between there and Jackson. I'm going to swap up the radar site here and go down to the Jackson radar site, and you can see that little storm cell between Yazoo City and Clinton right here could have some wind speeds up to about 40 miles per hour with this. It's moving east, so we do have more activity. That's actually the strongest storm cell, and it looks like that is riding this frontal boundary. So could that move back to the northeast and get into our area later this evening? It's certainly possible, but overall the severe weather threat remains low out ahead of this frontal boundary that is just moving on into the region. We are in the 70s in most spots, currently 54 in Memphis, 50 in Little Rock, 34 in Oklahoma City. So just a low-end chance for a gusty storm or two this evening through about 2 a.m. Hopefully we can get this out of here before then. And then the big picture overall shows a better chance for some heavier rain, once again, anywhere from a ½ inch to maybe 2 inches or more. So we don't need any more rain. We've had a lot of rain. Some of you have had over 10 inches of rain this month alone, but we may squeeze out another ½ inch to 2 inches this evening and tonight. So by midnight, a batch of showers and storms moving on through the region. By 2 o'clock in the morning, probably just to our east, and then cooler rain showers tomorrow morning. Notice the temperatures right here falling into the 40s during our day Thursday, so the high of tomorrow will be right after midnight. 40s, mid to low 40s for trick-or-treating tomorrow evening and tomorrow night. Bundle up the kiddos as they venture on out. Low 30s Friday morning, so a frost or freeze is likely. Highs on Friday only in the 50s. There's that freeze watch for tomorrow night, so it's going to be cold Friday morning, Saturday morning, Sunday morning. 50s for highs to the weekend, lows around freezing. A little bit milder as we get into next week.
Mississippi State begins the season back in the top 10, continuing its impressive streak. See the full poll coming up next in sports.
WCBI Sports with Tom Ebel is brought to you by your local Ford dealers. Go further.
The AP Top 25 poll for women's hoops has officially been released, and for the 59th straight week, Mississippi State finds themselves inside the top 10. But for the first time ever, Oregon opens the season as the #1 team in the nation, defending champion Baylor at #2. UConn in the top 5 for the 239th consecutive week, or since January 2007. Mississippi State coming in at #10. It's also the Bulldogs' 95th consecutive week ranked inside the top 25. Vic Schaefer's group in the top 10 since September 2018. 5 SEC teams in the top 25 with Mississippi State includes Texas A&M, South Carolina, Kentucky, and Arkansas. Mississippi State's 2019 season begins next Saturday, taking on Southern Miss inside the hump. Rivalry football is the best football, and it's one of the top criteria for our game of the week. It's even more rare to find a rivalry game with two teams that are poised for deep playoff runs. That's why our game of the week for Week 11 returns to West Alabama. The 8-1 South Lamar Stallions taking on the 8-1 Sulligent Blue Devils, a rivalry showdown between two of the top in their class. The Stallions fresh off a 68-18 dismantling of brilliant Sulligent, shutting down Cold Springs 36-7. The Blue Devils will be out for some revenge after a 60-0 loss to the Stallions a year ago. And the rivalry has been a dead heat. South Lamar leading the all-time series 18-17. We'll ring in Week 11 of the high school football season from Kennedy coming up on Friday. The phrase "do it all" can be thrown around lightly on a football field. For this week's Athlete of the Week, this player truly did it all on the football field this past Friday. Baldwin's Jacoby Williams had a game for the ages in the win over Byers. Williams scored 5 total touchdowns and scored them in every shape, form, and fashion you can get them. 3 TD receptions, 2 interceptions, one of those he returned for a pick 6, and the cherry on top, a kickoff return for a touchdown. The senior wide receiver and defensive back says if it helps the team win, consider him in.
It feels good, you know. You don't really try to just have breakout games like that. You try to play as good as you always can. So, you know, it's unexpected, but I'll take it. I've been trying to be more of a dog on defense. You know, since my last year, you got to go big or go home, you know. So if I don't do it big now, then I won't get no more chances after this.
Williams also leads the state in interceptions with 10. Baldwin will host Faulkner this Friday in a divisional matchup. MUW men's and women's soccer are heading to the national tournament. The women's squad will head to the tournament as a 3 seed and will face University of Maine Fort Kent in pool play. The men's squad just get in, punching their ticket as a 6 seed. They'll go up against Maine Fort Kent and Florida National. Local players representing MUW look forward to their shot on the national stage.
From last season and not having a winning record, not winning really at all, and to this season having those wins, getting this third seed, we're just really excited. We're making a statement, and we're excited for Virginia Beach.
We just need to attack as a team. We've struggled with that before, but we just need to get a lot of people in the attack and just put some goals in the net.
I was like, man, wow, that's cool. We actually made it this time. Last year we kind of missed it just by a little bit though. So, I mean, it's been a really cool experience, the way they set it up and the whole, interview thing. I thought that was really cool.
Well, now it's time to turn it up a notch. Nationals, what we've been working for, no pressure. We ready.
Last look at your forecast next.
More rain and storms on the way. We're watching that little storm cell south of Yazoo City. All of that's coming back to the east. Falling temperatures tomorrow, 40s for trick-or-treating, and then some very chilly but sunny days ahead.
So you have your costumes ready for tomorrow?
Might have to change it. Need a long sleeve one.
Mine will be a suit and tie since I'm working.
A meteorologist.
Okay, there you go.
All right, that is the news at 6 o'clock. Enjoy the rest of your Wednesday.